The average salary in Germany is 52,300 euros, but averages can be easily skewed, which does not accurately represent reality. A more reliable metric is the median salary in Germany, which is 45,800 euros. This means that 50% of people earn this amount or less. But is the median salary enough? If not, what is a livable salary in Germany? Let's talk about that. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Essen. I'm a researcher, and on this channel we discuss how to succeed financially in Germany. Now, a livable salary is very subjective, and it would mean different things to different people. Does one need to have savings at the end of the month to fulfill the definition of a livable salary? Does owning a car fulfill it? Or does a livable salary mean something else? Considering that Germany is a social state, if you have a right to permanent residence in Germany, you will not be forced to live on the street if you are laid off or have a health crisis, unlike the US. Now, this video is not about what's good and what's bad in Germany or the migration policies, but as a social state, there are certain safeguards in place to keep you outside harm's way. For example, there's Arbeitslosengeld, Krankengeld, Wohngeld, Hartz IV, and much more. As long as your status is clear, you won't have existential problems in Germany. Now that we have this thing out of the way, let's talk more about salaries in Germany. Whenever numbers are given, these are the pre-tax yearly salaries. So the mean pre-tax annual salary in Germany is 45,800 euros. From that amount, you pay income tax, church tax if you are registered for that, social contributions like health insurance, pension insurance, and long-term care insurance. The income tax rate is progressive, meaning that you do not pay the same amount for each euro you earn. The first few thousand euros are tax-free, which is called the basic tax-free allowance. This amount increases each year, and in 2025, it is 12,084 euros. Below this amount, you pay no income tax. After that, you pay a progressive amount, with the maximum being 45%. So the misconception of paying 45% income tax is mainly incorrect for most people. For someone who earns 45,800 euros per year, they would be paying an effective income tax rate of about 20%. Only people earning more than 800,000 euros a year would be paying an effective income rate of 45% on every single thing they earn. In addition to income tax, you pay into the social contributions, so the health insurance, pension, etc., which comes out to be about 20% of your income. The income tax and social contributions vary depending on your marital status, whether you have children or are a single parent, and many other things. But a single person with no children, without church tax, earning 45,800 euros would be paying about 34.6% in tax and social contributions. And a family of 4 having 2 children and a single provider, again earning 45,800 euros, would be paying about 34.01% in taxes and contributions, but would receive an additional 550 euros for child support each month, and probably support for housing in certain cases. So the single would have 24,093 euros per month, and the family would have 3,068 euros per month after taxes. I'll put a link to this calculator in the description, and while you're there, please hit the like button if you're getting value from this video, and consider subscribing. Now, coming back to our main question, what is a livable salary in Germany? Honestly speaking, there is no concrete answer to this question, and it's a very subjective matter. What we can do is identify certain parameters and answer this question based on those parameters. The most important parameter, in my opinion, is the location. The cost of living varies from city to city, but generally the larger the city, the higher the cost of living, mostly due to rent. The 3 most popular cities in Germany are also the most expensive in terms of rent as well, with Frankfurt having 17.38 euros per square meter, Berlin with 17.94 euros per square meter, and Munich with 21.01 euros per square meter, meaning a 45 square meter apartment would cost you about 945 euros in Munich, 793.8 euro in Berlin, and about 782 euros and 1 cent in Frankfurt. This is the official regional rent structure calculator from the government. With this, you can have a general idea of individual regions within Germany. In general, almost all southern Germany is very expensive, with bigger cities in the north being expensive to live in as well. But we all know that most larger cities in Germany would also have better earning opportunities as well. This is true in Germany as well. This can be directly reflected with the median salaries in the larger cities. For example, the median salary in Munich is 58,000 euros, more than 26% higher than the national median. The median salary in Frankfurt is 57,250 euros, but Berlin is quite lagging with a median salary of 48,250 euros. So depending on the city, you can have a high salary, but chances are that you will have a higher cost of living, hence somewhat leveling out the net effect. The second parameter to consider is the household or family. As I mentioned earlier in the video, taxes and contributions can vary based on your marital status and whether you have children or not. So married couples and people with kids do get certain advantages. But the cost of living differs drastically if someone is single compared to couples or people with children. I won't go into details of every single difference, but the biggest expense again would be rent. Singles have a huge advantage here because they can live in what is known as a Wohngemeinschaft or shared accommodation. This is a form of housing in which several independent tenants share an apartment. Each tenant has their own furnished room with common rooms such as bathroom, kitchen, and possibly a living room. This type of accommodation is usually the cheapest option available in almost all cities in Germany. These shared accommodations also typically include all costs in the rent like electricity, garbage, internet, water costs, etc. When I came to Germany in 2015, my rent in a small city in the Black Forest was 220 euros. This included garbage, electricity, water, internet, everything. I shared the kitchen with 8 other people and there were 2 toilets for men. In 2018 and 2019, I was paying about 320 euros per month for my room in a 2-room apartment. Obviously, these numbers are not possible in larger cities, but you can still find rooms in this range in smaller German cities. The situation changes, however, if you are married or have children. There are different rules according to the federal states, but usually one would need between 9 to 12 square meters per adult and 6 to 9 square meters per child, meaning that a family of 4 with 2 children would need a minimum of between 30 to 42 square meters of living space. Conservative estimates would put this to a 2-room apartment, but I think a minimum 3-room apartment would be needed for a family of 4, and this would mean higher costs for you. The third parameter is profession and level of experience. Now, I agree that profession and level of experience has no direct relation with a livable salary in Germany, but I think it's an important factor to consider because your profession and level of experience can dictate how much you are able to earn. For example, someone at an entry-level job in cybersecurity might be earning higher than someone with 4 to 6 years of experience in embedded programming. The top 3 highest earning professions in Germany are doctors with a median gross salary of 98,750 euros, banking and finance with 95,500 euros, and consulting with 58,260 euros, with the bottom 3 being health and social services with 41,750 euros, retail with 37,750 euros, and gastronomy with 37,250 euros gross median salary. These numbers also change based on whether you have a university degree or not. For example, in the case of gastronomy, you can earn a median salary of 37,000 euros per annum without a university degree and 42,250 euros if you have a university degree. This also applies to many other professions as well. Obviously, you cannot work as a doctor without a higher degree, so that's not applicable here. Your level of experience also plays a role here. Certain professions pay well from the start, while others have lower entry salaries but higher long-term potential. The fourth parameter, and I think this is the most important one, is defining a livable salary. Ideally, this point should be discussed at the very beginning, but I have a reason to place it here. I think the definition of a livable salary depends on the individual and it can vary depending on the stage of life they are in. What it meant to be on a livable salary when one was young could be an unsurvivable amount later in life. I can speak to this with my own experience. When I was doing my thesis between March and August 2017, I was earning 430 euros per month. Out of this, I was paying 220 euros in rent, 90 in health insurance, 45 euros for my bus ticket, and 20 euros for my gym membership, leaving me just 55 euros per month for groceries and everything else. I could have stocked my gym membership to save 20 euros, but that 90 minutes in the gym each day was keeping me sane for those 6 months. I was barely surviving with that amount, but these 6 months taught me a valuable lesson of living below my means, even if it meant surviving eating spaghetti every single day. But now I cannot even imagine being able to survive at that salary. What's livable for a student living in a shared apartment is vastly different from what's a livable salary for a working professional with a family. Again, from my own personal experience, a single person can survive in Germany at 800 euros per month, regardless of where they live. This would include rent, health insurance payments, basic groceries, the Deutschland ticket, and small amount for non-regular expenses. This number can be reduced if you live in a smaller city. But there is no one-size-fits-all number. What's livable for one person might be a struggle for another. Our goal is not to survive but thrive in Germany. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything or would like to share your personal experiences. The calculations in this video are of what I think is a livable salary in Germany. In this video, I share the actual costs of living in Germany. And in this video, I share how to reduce your rent in Germany. So thanks for watching. Bleib gesund and I'll see you in one of these videos.